We're about to take it back.
Ladies and gentlemen, here it is, the most listened to radio show on the planet.
This station is now the ultimate power in the universe.
Tony and Lee on the radio. Dr. Joe's therapy on the radio. The love doctor going live on the radio. Two mics and a mind on the radio. Radio, turned up 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 on the radio. Two mics and a mind. Two mics and a mind. Two mics and a mind. Two mics.
Watch this.
And a mind.
Yeah.
Hello.
What up?
Hello, guys.
We are back.
Glad to see
Radio. Turned up on the radio. Woo!
you. Okay.
Y'all like that, don't you?
That's
Two mics and a mind. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That intro hot, ain't it?
It is.
That intro hot right there. That's a hot intro right there. That was a professional track done right there. That's somebody y'all ain't gonna see him in the Grammys. Y'all ain't gonna see him in the Image. Y'all ain't gonna see him at the BET Hip Hop Awards. Oh yeah. Y'all gonna see him somewhere far more superior, far more eliter than that. Far more eliter.
Awesome.
Far more eliter than that. Yes, sir. Oh yeah. Welcome. Thule, Reverend Joe, how y'all doing?
Pretty good.
All is well, no complaints.
Oh yeah.
Matter.
Oh, well, I'm glad to hear that. Things been going along. You know what I mean? I've been doing good, feeling good, looking good. What more can I say indeed? Oh yeah. What more can I say indeed? Oh yeah. Look at him. For all those who just tuning in, I want to encourage y'all to hit the like button. Share this with your friends. Tell them that Two Mics and a Mind came on. As a matter of fact, Tula, tell them, how did you come up with the name with Two Mics and a Mind? How you did that, Tula?
It was a joint effort. We moved right along. It was a joint effort. It was 3 people. That's what we came up with.
Excuse you? Was it someone named Mike?
No,
Who was the other person who helped you come up with the name?
it was long.
What does the name mean is what I want to know.
Previous host. What do you mean? It was 3 people. So
Oh, so Two Mics.
Were you the mind?
I'm always
a man.
Uh-oh, there he is. What's going on? The one, the only. The raw Tony is in the building. What's up?
Trying to make it happen.
Hey, man, you know me, man. I'm glad to hear it. I'm just trying to keep it low-key like a midget locksmith. You know what I'm saying? That's all we doing around here.
I see the height resemblance.
Hey, let me tell you something.
Unlock the door.
Height is back. Let me tell you something. Kevin Hart, short. Let me tell you something. Tom Cruise, short. Let me tell you something else. Who is the president of Russia? What his name is?
Bart.
The short dude. That Putin. Putin is a short dude. Short man been ruling the world. Been trying to tell y'all that.
Bart.
I ain't want to listen.
Fletcher.
You know all the tall man good for? Tall man good for 2 things. Getting the box of cereal off the top of the refrigerator and changing the light bulb in the ceiling fan. That's all they good for.
Wow. Tall man, join in today.
I
I
detect a little hate.
Hey, we not doing no short shaming today. Everybody out there in the chat, if y'all ain't got a problem with short men, don't push nothing in the chat. Just leave it blank. Don't let it move.
Let him have it.
Thanks. Look at that right there. The chat ain't moving. Chat ain't moving one time. There it is.
Get started. Listen, if you're taller than a thumb, please respond. That's tight. It's still time. If you're taller than a thumb, please respond.
Look at that. We got love. We spreading love all around her. Look at that right there in the comments. We spreading love. Y'all see that? Oh yeah. But I tell y'all what, it's glad to see y'all one more time indeed. We got a great show for our audience and everybody that's coming in. Y'all take your time. Go ahead, post this on your Facebook page, your Instagram page. Send tweeters about it. Matter of fact, send tweeters to all the politicians. Let them know this is what they need to be watching right here.
That's right.
Anything y'all want to know about the world, we got the answers right here. Ain't that right, Tula? Ain't that right, Tony? Ain't that right, Dr. Joe?
Ask
That's
us
right.
anything. We don't know it don't exist.
That's right. We got the answer to anything y'all need. We got the answers right here. You know what I learned, Tula? I learned that all problems are solved by the process of questions and answers. So as long as you can go and ask some questions and answers, you can get out there and you can solve problems. That's what it's all about. We're here solving problems. That's all we're doing. Solving problems.
Communication.
Oh yeah. As a matter of fact, don't let me go too far. I got to send a special shout out to my number one of my day one, Jordan. What's up, Jordan? We back. I know you're watching. He told me last night he was gonna be watching. So what's up, Jordan? What's up? Special shout out to you. We're gonna have you come on one day. One of these days, we're gonna have you come on, man.
One day when school out, it's time to go to bed. Get an education.
Man, I was sitting here talking to a guy. I went to this place. I was at a store earlier today, and the weather was so cool outside. And I say, you know, it's finna be May and it's cool outside. What is this weather always like this in Georgia? What's going on?
You asking me, or you ask somebody else you saw today?
Yes, sir.
Well, it's because of
asking y'all.
It's because of the devastation, everything that's going on. You got to remember, nothing is what it was simply because things have changed from the food, because of man's greed that he's absorbing everything from the erots, from the earth, as others will call it. So it's not stable. It's just like if you were depleted, just say if you were dehydrated, what would your body naturally do? Other things would start to shut down. Other things will happen. And you will move into the next stages of moot, which is death. So you got to consider, man has been drilling and pumping oil from the erots for how long? And in mass, you're talking about millions of barrels a day. That's only one company. Millions per day. So when you got the astronomical numbers of oil that you're taking out to help to stabilize the earth, what do you expect to happen? Then you're going to drain all the gold out. You drain the other phosphate, other things you're taking out, lithium, other things that your body is composite is made up, but they're burning it and destroying it in a negative way. You know, and so man is a destructor of himself. And, you know, people trying to figure out what's going on. It's not stable. You got glaciers are melting and falling over. The earthquakes are, you know, hitting all-time records, but you're taking the goods out of the earth. So it's depleted. It's like a woman. Every time a woman has a baby, she depletes herself. It depletes. It takes away because while she's living and it's creating her inside of her womb, this baby is help absorbing her food. It's causing her heart rate to go up. It's causing her blood pressure to raise. It's doing a lot because one body is functioning for two now, if not triplets or twins. So you got to figure when she losing that baby comes out of her, it depletes her. It puts her on the death. So what do you think happening when you're taking all of the goods out? Then you're putting poisons back in the ground. The trash, the stuff that they create and make. Then you got the bombs. You got the war games they're doing. Well, they're shooting those when Kim Jong-il are testing ballistic missiles. Where are these missiles landing at? They're landing in the water, which means the fish, which means the plants, people that eat seaweeds and sea moss. Guess what? You got all these bombs that are going in the water and exploding. What do you think happening? What's happening to the animals that's absorbing it, that's around it? Not the ones that's dying, the ones that's surviving. The ones that are dying are dead, they're out. It's the ones that surviving. Just like people with AIDS. The people that are surviving with AIDS are the detriment. The people that are dead are out of the way.
Right.
So these are the things that people really need to sit and look and consider.
Yeah. Definitely some things they need to consider. Man. It's just a lot going on. I know I seen a lot of different articles and things like that. What does that say? Truth Lover says, can you explain to us how you are one of the two witnesses of Revelations 11? You said this when you was in the funeral home. Please elaborate. How do?
I don't remember. I
don't know what they're talking about.
No, I mean I know what they're talking about in the 11th chapter of the book of Kazum.
But hold on, before you answer that question now, truth lover, did you hit the cash out? We ain't finna be out here passing at the bar. You ain't even put that in the cash out now. Hold on now. You gonna put that in the cash out now. Let's do it right. Listen. Don't be sitting out here freeloading this here the bar. Don't do that right there. Matter of fact, anybody, if y'all want to hear this good clean the bar, I want y'all to hit that cash out, that $ Barra T Smith. That's how you do it. We not finna let y'all here bootlegging and all that stuff. You can't get something for nothing now.
Oh my goodness.
No, that's right. I bet he don't ask his own pastor what it is, because the own pastor won't even respond to him. Your own pastor got a cash app on too, might send a mine on Thursday.
No, I think, listen, for a lot of people, they look at us and a lot of people look at me, I know, and even with 2 mics in mind, this is the outlet. This is the place you come to. We can talk, we can chat, we can discuss different matters or issues or situations. I mean, yeah, that's been years ago. I don't remember exactly what I said about it, but it did talk about the 2 witnesses and being dead in the street for 3.5 days, then combing up. I mean, a lot of things now, we're waiting to see the outcome. As the book, teases us, we won't judge nothing before the time until you who will get back in. But everything will play itself out to be what it is, if I might say that now. I don't remember in what content or what did I say. What I said, I preached a lot for a lot of years. You got to remember, I've been preaching for what, about 25 years?
Wow.
25 years. Did it go by fast?
Yes.
You know what? I remember seeing your trial sermon on YouTube one day or whatever. I tell you what, you had some little fire to you. You had a little kick to you. How old were you when you actually started doing that trial sermon? How old were you?
What was that, 27, 28?
Really?
Yeah, 28. Yeah, probably 27, 28.
You were young.
Yeah, probably 28.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, about 25 years.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow. Now that right there is very interesting right there. That
Amazing.
That is very, very interesting.
She was pregnant with our youngest
stuff.
son, and he was born.
You got up there in the pulpit and you was just teaching the truth, and you've been doing it ever since, huh?
Amazing. Yeah, I didn't know how that was going to come out, but it worked out for me.
Man. That's right.
I mean, it's a lot of people, even today, the same thing. 25 years come August. 25 years? Come on. 26 years. That's right. This August will be 26 years.
Tula, he still look the same?
Seriously?
Wow, Rod, that's you. Okay.
Wow.
He still look the same, huh?
Wow.
Look at it. Look at it.
Long time.
I ain't been in no liquor store, ain't been in no club, ain't been in no strip club. I ain't got no reason to drop my nigga. I stayed up and stayed with the boat tank. I knew I been living right.
Come on now, look at that. That man say, look, he ain't been at the liquor store, he ain't been running around. Listen, he know he been living right. Look at that. That man been hold up a standard. Ain't that right? How it feel, buddy? Julie, how it feel to see him? 26, 25, 27, something like that?
It's wonderful that he's still standing. Same person.
Oh. Look at that. Look at that. I tell you what, I appreciate you for standing up, Pastor. You done gained some weight now, but you was standing though. You still been standing now. You ain't the same man you to be. You about to double up a little bit, but you doing all right. You still
I have not double up, Joker.
Look at that right there.
I don't know. That's not true.
How much was you weighing in, Tony? You about what, 180, 190?
No. I was about 200.
I think
Tony, what you was? What you was? 200? Come on, Tony.
He looks thinner now.
Yeah. I was probably about 225, about 220.
No, don't do that now.
I was, excuse me. I don't know how big I was. Thank you, people.
I know how big you was not, and you was not that. I can look at you now. I can look at that head. Look at that head. See that?
Look at yours. You were tall when I met you.
Look at that. He had all his hair. Look at it. I like the message what it is. I remember when I first saw you and I seen that. I say you always was on point. And the thing about it is that you actually saying stuff just that 10 seconds. That's stuff that I really haven't heard other pastors talk about. Just that alone.
Wow.
So when I heard that kind of blew me away.
It was a nervous thing.
No phone number, nothing else. I ain't been in no liquor store, ain't been in no club, ain't been in no strip club. I ain't got no reason to drop my nigga. I stayed up and stayed with the boat tank. I knew I been living right.
Amen. Hey, look at that right there. Look at that right there. That's something right there. Listen, a lot of folks can't say that. That amazed me at that point in time. I heard that sermon several years back, and just that alone, there was so many. a lot of preachers, they just can't even say what the book say. You tell them to do that, they're already at a deficit. So I definitely appreciate you for what you're doing. That's been wonderful, absolutely wonderful. Oh yeah,
We appreciate it. It's
Yeah.
been by the con of Mr. Yahuwah. He granted that favor to be able to do what we're doing and have allowed us to do it. You know, learn and grow. I don't think you ever stop growing. You ever stop knowing. It's been a long time. I haven't watched that video in years. Oh my God. It's been a long time. It's been a long time. She was pregnant then.
oh yeah.
Young Austin, yeah, he was born that next year, the next month. That was August 97.
7.
Yeah, and then he was born September.
Oh, so that mean Bryce would have been there.
Yeah,
he was a baby. He was there. He was a baby.
All right, I'm gonna talk to Bryce. Bryce, let us know how the
He
sermon
was-
turned
no,
out. Let us know if you
Bryce
enjoyed
was-
yourself. He
He
slept
was a
through the whole
baby.
thing.
Bryce was one.
He don't. He
Oh,
doesn't
Bryce,
remember.
no. I don't know. I'm thinking, did we? I don't know if we brought him. Did we bring him?
yeah. I remember him
My
being
wife was there.
yeah.
My mother was there, and I had a cousin. She came out to see me.
Man, you talk like that, you make some preachers mad at you, man.
Oh, he did.
I
You
heard.
make a whole lot of
I
preachers
heard.
mad now. Hey, it'd be a long walk to that parking lot.
Listen, that was no fallout that day. I mean, it was a problem that day, and
Really?
oh yeah, from that day on, it was nothing but downhill. It was downhill with people.
Mm.
True.
Wow.
Gotta
I
love him.
appreciate that. I definitely
He said
appreciate
raw
that.
are taught to eat placentas. I don't remember where you could have got that from. I couldn't-
Truth Lover, come on, go on, turn the camera on, Truth Lover. Come on up here. You doing all this weird stuff, Truth Lover. Folks, they get behind the keyboard, they start typing away, and they ain't even looking what they saying.
Keyboard courage.
that
He
I
might
was
mean you taught to eat plantains. Do you think he might have mean plantains?
No, you know what
No,
he said.
no.
Raw
Yeah.
taught to eat
I didn't taught him.
placentas.
People took.
He's
You
eating-
could take the placenta. You could break it in a pill form, and people have used it for medicines.
Right.
Because
I've heard.
they help it for for the baby. Typically, they do it for the baby, the mother. There are some people
Healing.
that do take the placenta and they do eat it. The Caucasian race, some of those take them. Hospitals will take them. They set them out to people. Placenta has a lot of things in it that can be vital. I myself don't eat it. I don't teach people to eat it, but they found that it does have some benefits that can benefit the child. Coming from the mother. But I don't think you heard me teach for people to go and eat placenta. I know Tom Cruise was teaching. I remember he the first person I know heard.
Hey, now y'all get off these short people now. Y'all get off these short people.
Y'all stir up a lot of stuff.
He know.
I remember
Hey, did you hear him say that with his mouth?
Yes, I heard him say it with his mouth.
Well, he probably was pressured. He was probably pressured to say that.
I'm sure he was. He definitely got some kind of pressures.
Yeah, I think he with them Scientology or something like that, I believe.
And that's why Shaul said you have to avoid opposition to science, falsely so called. He talked about how some have even erred. So to each his own. I mean, I think the person, truth seeker, just have some questions and no doubt probably looking at things I've said over the years and want some explanations or questions people might have. I've taught a lot over the years. I've also transitioned over the years from when I was originally preaching. I was preaching, holiness, they were calling it at the time. A lot of different things taught from a Christian, standpoint.
Yeah.
As your knowledge increase about things, of course, you change and you grow. And if you willing to take truth and transition, then that's what you do. But if you don't, you kind of stay with what you do and keep going. People, oh, he lost it. Oh, he used to preach the truth. It's because you're still not saying you truth, love. Just people in general, a lot of times are still stuck in what they've known for years and what their parents have been in and grandparents have been in versus, when the truth you learn it, you have to be willing to do it and not allow yourself one dimension. A lot of times, a lot of people are not willing to do that. What's going on, Confederate?
We can't hear.
We can't hear you. All right, your mic not working.
No sound. It sure looks good.
It Is the sound coming up?
Hey, if I'm not mistaken, look like he might be in the car.
Why it's making me kind of reverb? You hear that? Yeah, the sound is like a reverb. Does anybody know why?
I'm looking to it in the back screen now, see if I can fix it. See if I can stop that. Yeah, it's reverb from Confederate song.
It was from him. Yeah, I muted it. Yeah, it stopped, so it's probably something. We know what it is. I guess he was trying to get his mic to kind of work, but it didn't.
Yeah. So there's the link. Y'all want to try calling in? We posted the link in the chat. So definitely feel free to have that in the chat and check out some of the links or whatever the case may be. Well, what y'all got going on in the news and all that stuff, too? Yeah, Resident Joe, Tony, y'all, what y'all got going on and popping?
Nothing good.
I had something I was telling. I was reading stuff earlier about I'll say you something that I was looking at earlier.
Is ready. Are you ready?
Yeah, you should be.
If you do, don't send it to my phone. My phone battery's at 1%.
Send it to me, Tony, please.
Oh yes, I am. Send
Or
it to
what are you talking about?
my son of mine.
Now, look,
I remember the version. I like that version too.
You in the phone?
Yeah, you got all different kinds of versions. That too, Mike, son of mine. That's right. I remember that right there. Yeah.
That first one, that was hot. That was hot too.
Yeah. Sure enough. Indeed, I remember that.
Short, just some little short ends, just talking about, kind of one of the things we struggle with. And I'm a proponent for getting rid of social media, a lot of social media. Yeah, I think it has damaged us, terribly, from our kids, our relationships, our safety, our privacy, our innocence. I mean, social media has done, and on another end, there are a lot of people who have become very wealthy, have gotten themselves in a much better financial position through, using social media well, correctly. There are other people have used it to a lot of detriment and hurt of other people. And that's one of those things where you wind up as getting rid of the bad, you'll wind up getting rid of some of the good with it too. I did something in the
okay, I'm working on it.
Just trying to see.
Also, social media can be addictive. They have. That's why I was asking the love doctor. Does he use his phone a lot? Because he's on 1%, but always on 1% with his phone. But I'm into this new thing that I'm timing myself with social media because it could become addictive.
You know what? I think they got us now. I think it's almost impossible. We got to use our phone and we got to be on social media sometimes every day. I don't see how we can really navigate the day without it. I mean, whether you checking your emails, you know what I mean? Looking at the news, reading, updating news stories, whatever stuff that's going on. It's almost a daily routine, even if you're checking your bank account.
That's right. That's true.
Oh yeah.
We get it up, Tula.
Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to find their oh darn it, there it is.
Can you hear 48?
I can hear you guys. How you?
Welcome, man. What's going on?
Nephew E. I can't see.
No, that's my baby right there. That's my baby. That's Britt. That's
Hi, can y'all hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you, sweetie.
We can hear you.
Okay.
Yeah, that's my baby.
Yes, it is.
What's going on, Brett?
Hi, how are you guys?
We doing great. What did you come out the box tonight?
Because I wanted to give you guys some facts about April is. Can I start or we?
Go ahead.
Okay, so for people that didn't know, and I'm looking at my notes because I did write some notes down. I did my homework. Okay, so April is Child Abuse Prevention Month.
Okay.
They call it CAP. And the reason why I know that, to give you guys a little background, is because my child I have a kindergartner. She came home with a piece of paper that was asking for permission to talk about Aaron's Law. And for those of you guys that don't know what Aaron's Law is, Aaron's Law was passed for the state of Georgia. It was passed in 2018, and it requires the school every year from kindergarten to 12th grade to talk about child abuse and child sexual abuse. It'll, for example, it'll tell the students, it teaches the students techniques to recognize child sexual abuse and telling a trusted adult. As far as the school, it tells the school all about child abuse. And for the parents, it gives you guys warning signs and needed assistance and resources. So if y'all didn't know, if you guys have kids, this is a month that people come out to the school to inform your kids about what is and is not appropriate as far as touching on kids and stuff like that, and how to tell somebody that you trust. So Aaron's Law has been passed in 38 states. It has not been passed in all states. Georgia is one of them. In 2018, it was not out when I was in school, but it is out now. It was passed in May 2018. And a little bit of statistics is 1 in every 4 girls and 1 in every 6 boys will be sexually assaulted before they turn 18. Those numbers are alarming. And this is what makes it even more scary. 90% of those people that are that they'll come in contact with as far as the sexual abuse will be a family member or a friend. So people may think, oh, you know, I don't let my kids around any adults I don't trust. The one that you trust could be the very ones causing the abuse.
Yep.
So I say all this because it is very important to have these conversations with your kids as far as what is and is not appropriate. You can't just leave it in school's hands, and you can't just leave it in the hands of my kids know better, because they don't. And even if your kids do know better, 1 in every 10 kids never tell anybody that they have been sexually abused.
Right.
So that's very scary in itself. So some people may be like, well, what is considered child abuse? Child abuse is physical maltreatment or sexual molestation of a child. Maltreatment is cruel or violent treatment of a person or animal. Molestation is sexual assault or abuse of a person, especially a child. And a lot of molestation starts with grooming. What is grooming? Grooming is the action of attempting to form a relationship with a child or young person with the intention of sexually assaulting them, or to get them to commit something illegal. So examples of grooming would be gifting or giving special attention to a particular child. So if you notice that somebody shows your kid, I mean, and that's not to say that people can't be friendly, but don't just think that people like your kids because their kid are just, I mean, do you like your kids? Don't think, because, I mean, come on, let's be, like, certain things you just gotta pay attention to. You can't just assume that.
That's true.
Or take your kid somewhere.
Yeah,
Right.
It is.
Yeah.
Everyone they
No.
babysit them.
Is that
Yeah, and
everybody? No, but it's so
No,
many
it's
of
not
them.
everybody.
Go ahead. No. But in saying that, what you're saying is very much true. And what
Absolutely.
happens, Brett, is that,
Mhm.
you know, you have to address it in that way to tell them. And people might think, oh, you know, you've been funny with your child. You're not. You just don't want your child to be a victim. I was a victim of child molestation. So when she said those numbers, I'm a person that was a victim. So I know I don't use it as a cop out or anything like that. I just know it needs to be, you know, spoken about. It needs to be. I detest child molestation. I think you the scum of the earth.
Me too.
You know, that you take the innocence away from a child, or you victim. You got a lot of kids that some kids will commit suicide. So I appreciate you bringing that up. I sent some pictures over. I think it was that I did put it in congregation, but I think Tuli put it up there. That goes along with what you were talking about. And I was talking about social media. Are y'all posting that as well while she's speaking about it? You can just see.
Yeah, Britt. We're gonna do that after she finishes.
Oh, go ahead.
So making the person feel special. As for the kids, if a lot of times if somebody is doing something, doing something that they know is inappropriate, they will make you feel special or make you feel entitled. I mean, not entitled. They will make you feel indebted to them. For example, they may buy you things, so you feel like, oh, I can't tell, or this person, I can't tell on this person because this person did this for me and they did that for me. They do so much for me. It doesn't matter. Always find a trusted adult to talk to. If you feel uncomfortable, you need to express that to somebody that you trust. It doesn't necessarily have to be your parent, but you need to find an adult. There should be no reason for you to keep a secret with another adult that is harmful. It's different if it's a surprise for my mom, like that's different. But you having a secret with another adult, that's a red flag right there. You shouldn't have any type of secret that they touched you or that they exposed themselves. That's another sign of sexual abuse. Another thing is close physical contact. A lot of play wrestling and dancing and play fighting are signs of sexual abuse. That's people trying to be slick, because that's ways I can touch you without you even noticing it. By the time you're noticing it, it's already too far.
Yeah. Rolling on the bed, rolling.
Yes, things like that.
You know what? I'm curious to know. In regards to the Aaron's Law, I'm looking at it and I see, I guess some of the 3 bullet points that it's ultimately about. My only question that I have in mind is, will this be used as a way to further indoctrinate and input all this gay lesbian stuff into the school and the classroom and start teaching them about sex education? Because on the way of it's good to help the children understand good touch, bad touch, but as corrupt as society is, where they also see this as an unintended consequences way of injecting more of this perversion into the classroom, So that's my only concern about that Aaron's Law.
I definitely, when I first read the paper, I kind of I read the paper because I read anything that gets sent home, but I made sure on there it didn't, because I talked to somebody about it. I was like, I was trying to make sure they weren't trying to, say they want to talk about you have the right to be a boy if you want to be
right.
I definitely but looking into it, it doesn't say that at all. On top of the fact that it's optional, because you as a parent you can opt out. For me, I would be a little like, if a parent opts out, if I was a teacher and the parent opted out, I kind of would be like, why are you opting out of me educating your kid about another? Because it doesn't necessarily have to be a parent. It could be anybody. It could be a grandparent. It can be an uncle. It could be your dad's friend. It could be your mom's friend. It could be anybody. It doesn't have to be a parent. It could be
So parents can be now, Britt. That's something that they need to know. With parents and friends, with parents and mothers, and that does happen as well. I would suggest that you find somebody, an adult that you feel that you can go to, that won't bring you back to the victimizer, to support you and won't listen and get you help. It is sometimes that's why people don't, because if it's an uncle, that's my mom's brother, my dad's brother, I can't say it's them. So who you go to? Or if it's your parent, who do you go to on your parents? So these are things that people need to be aware of too, that's listening, that if it's happening to you, if it's a parent, if it's a grandparent, if it's a brother, it's a sister, it's wrong. It shouldn't be happening, and the right people should be addressed to stop it. It keeps curing because it's not a topic that people like to talk about. If you look at society today, they more or less introduce it, just like bringing in transgender reading. That makes no sense. If you want to read a book to a child, your sexuality shouldn't have anything to do with it. The fact that we'll put a connotation, call it transgender reading, what's the influence now? Because I'm going to be as the transgender reading, there's some influence that's going to go with that versus I'm here to read to you guys. We have volunteers that read to kids because everyone is pushing this fad, this sickness upon our kids. I picked up a lot of key things. I looked at what happened to me because I was molested more than one time as an adult too. When you talking about how they'll use keywords, say things or try to, make you feel like you're important. You make me feel wonderful. You help encourage me. You'd be surprised at what people do. They'll come, they'll act like they sleep and their breasts will fall out. You know what I'm saying? Why your breath?
Wow.
Very sick. Their breasts just fall out and you just there and you came out to eat breakfast. You didn't come out for nothing else. You just trying to be friends. And there they go. They'll throw their cell phone you. Then they trick you into marrying them. Be real careful. There's some sickos out here, people.
Sickos.
Yeah.
That sounds like a very specific situation. Wow.
Well, I'm sure some other victims out there.
I don't think this is, and I don't think it's a specific to add to what Brittany and Tony is saying. This is a great topic to talk about. Unfortunately, like 60 or more % of the victims are 1 year or younger. So again, and we're seeing
hold on, 1 year younger? You mean these are newborn infants?
Yeah, babies. So unfortunately,
Hold on for a second, Doctor. I'm sorry. First of all, you're not doing it on this show. You went to college. What 1 year old is a newborn?
So with that right there, that was a rhetorical question.
Use your mind.
Right.
That was a rhetorical question. That was a shock.
That's
And then saying how perverted could someone be to even consider a newborn baby to actually be sexually molesting a newborn baby? So that was more of a rhetorical reaction in terms of that. That's sick. That's sickening. That's crazy.
60%. And then unfortunately, like Tony was saying, this and Brittany also, that the victims are victimized by family members. So if this 1 year old babies are supposed to be protected by family members and parents who are actually doing this actions or this disgusting actions, who is going to protect the babies? And you see the percentages is like 1 year and younger, and then mid-year, and the percentages are not even accurate because babies can't talk, and a lot of the victims are not talking either. So we don't know percentages exactly. And as a matter of fact, I think 2021 there were 600,000 cases reported of abuse. Neglect is the most common, and then it follows, I believe, is by physical, and then sexual is the lowest. But they're not being reported, so we don't know exactly what's really happening. And during the pandemic, it happened the most because nobody knew what was happening behind closed doors. So
because you got to think about it, who wants to report that
it's embarrassing.
My dad is watching me take a shower and he likes to, or he's touching, because they'll do it in ways to where you won't even catch it until you're older, and then you like, whoa, like this has been happening since I was like 5.
Exactly.
And I'm just now, and then by that time you may feel like, well, it's too late for me to tell now, and or you'll feel like, and another thing that they're so crafty in the way they do things is sometimes it'll start, then it'll stop, and it'll start again, and then sometimes even if the person is exposed, and I know this from experience, you will think, okay, well, it's been told it's not going to happen again. They will have the audacity to do it again, and it's so scary because a lot of times you will miss the signs as a parent because they're not in your face signs. And I say that because some of the signs as far as younger kids, from what I gathered from my research, is nightmares, wetting the bed, bullying others, displaying sexual behaviors that aren't age appropriate. There's no reason why your kid is a 5-year-old and they got Barbies in their pumpkin. That kid has seen something or somebody has done something. You probably need to investigate that. I would not let that be, kids are curious. Kids should not be that curious that fast. That's ridiculous. And as far as older kids, the signs could be anxiety, depression, withdrawal. Watch your behaviors as far as them not being so secretive and them just not talking. You always want to keep that line of communication with your kids. I know as kids get older and they get teenagers, they don't want to talk to their parents, but you always got to keep that line of communication open. You can't assume that my child will tell me if something is wrong. No, they won't. Not something that big, not something that tragic, because you got to think about it. If you're put in a situation and you're traumatized, your first initial shock is going to be to freeze. You're going to freeze, and you got to still process all that in your head and then try to figure out, how am I going to deal with this? Am I just going to act like it didn't happen? Do I tell my...
You muted.
Tony, I think that's your speaker.
Keep going, Brett.
So things like that is very, I think, as far as in the Black household too, there's a whole what goes on in the house stays in the house. I feel like sometimes that has hurt us more than that has helped us, because kids will, that was told to me in my household, and I mean, I get the concept of it a little bit, but that can be very detrimental, because your child will take that literally and be like, what goes on in the house stays in the house. I don't want to get anybody in trouble. I don't want to get in trouble, because if I tell, they're gonna say it's my fault. It's different things that can affect the way a person handles a situation. Another thing that I've heard from people, and I can definitely say for me, is when a child comes to you and tells you about being sexually abused, being abused whether sexually or physically, the best thing to do is to be in control of your reaction. As an adult, if you react too overwhelmed or too shocked, that'll shut a person down, or it could shut a person down. If you ask too many questions, that can shut a person down, and that also may make the child back, what do you call it when they go back on what they say, because they just
Regress.
don't want they just don't want the problems, or they don't want somebody to get in trouble. So that's another thing. It's definitely a sticky topic. It's very taboo. It's not talked about a lot. It's uncomfortable, but it's a conversation that I feel like every household needs to have every so often, because that's something that you constantly need to remind a child. You never know. You may talk to your child tomorrow and be like, hey, you know, this never needs to happen. And you find out, well, matter of fact, you know, this is what's going on. And I mean, I don't know, you never know. That's why you just gotta make sure you keep that line of communication open.
So speaking of the line of communication, got a question for you. Based on the numbers and the percentage you provided, I would make the assumption that the majority of people has experienced it, or either has someone in their family that is the culprit. My question to you based on that is, in terms of a suggestion, what do you recommend one do if they found out that a member of their family was actually the culprit, even if it's years after the fact? What do you recommend? How would one handle that?
I definitely think you need to report it. As far as handling it, I think it depends on the situation, and it depends on, because you don't want to kill the person, because once you kill them, you going to jail.
You want to.
You want to, and then as for me, I really don't know, because I honestly can't tell you what I would do if that was me. That's another thing, is you also have to consider as a parent how you're gonna handle that if that happens, because that's a lot of guilt. As a parent, I can imagine somebody telling, like my child telling me something happened, and it's by somebody that I trusted. That's a lot. Like, that would eat a person up. And it's not to say it's their fault, but your job as a parent is to protect your child. So to know that somebody took advantage of you trusting them,
the corporate was in the house.
How do you deal with that as a parent? Like, that's a lot. But I definitely don't think that you should. One thing I will say is, don't ignore it, and don't be like, well, the kid is okay, they seem to be doing fine.
Right.
You don't know how and when that will trickle down and affect them, because kids that are molested, guess what? They grow up, and sometimes they molest other people. They molest other kids. So everybody reacts differently. It's not to say that people will use it and be like, oh my gosh, I can't do anything because I've been molested. It's not that. It's just everybody's reaction isn't the same. For myself, because I have been molested, it took me a long time to even be able to say that, because it comes with a shame. But I do see as an adult how certain things affected me. I did not see it at first. It took other people to point things out. But I was fortunate enough to have people that I trusted to go to, and they handled the situation. Now, I will say this. When I told the people, I did not think that I had already reported it before. It's a long story. I had already reported it before, so this time me telling the person was more of a I need to get this off my chest because it was so heavy for so many years. So once I got it off my chest, it was like a weight lifted off. I was older when I told, but they asked me. I remember this particular person. He's very special to me. He on the phone. He asked me. He's like, "Do you trust me?" And I said yes. At the time, I was so scared. I was just like, I was more concerned about how is this going to break up my family. And you got to think about that as a kid. The kid is gonna think that too. Kids think like, oh man, mom's gonna be mad. Oh man, dad's gonna be mad at me because I broke up the family, or my siblings are gonna be mad at me because I broke it. Like all that runs through your head before you even, while you're telling it, before you're telling it, after you tell it. So you carry a lot of guilt with that, and you just have to make sure that you ensure the child that it's not their fault, and that it's a good thing that they told. A lot of times, some kids will tell only because they know that it's also happening to their younger siblings, which is what happened in the girl. Her name is I think her name is Marion or something like that. The only reason why she told that she was being sexually abused was because she found out her little sister was too.
Wow.
Otherwise, she probably wouldn't have told.
Wow.
So you know what I'm hearing is the reason why that this behavior is able to go on for so long throughout the family is because there's a cover up in the sense of there's actual people who know about it in the family, but yet they're covering it up, and that way it continues to go and is not stopped. And again, it's one of those things where based on those statistics that you provided, almost all of us has experienced that to some degree.
Mm-hmm.
The thing is, though, another perspective, something that I kind of struggle with is understanding how, let's say it might be 20 years later, we're all adults now, and I just found out about an act that was done maybe 20 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
I go to my family reunion and I see this particular person. It's almost like do you say, hey, well, it's been 20 years ago. You ain't know nothing about it. Everybody else are cool. The person who you violated, they're cool and everybody's moved on. Or should I resurrect it? Should I address it? Should I, or you just let it go, and just move on? It's kind of like one of those things. How does one really handle those situations when it happened so long ago and you just finding out about it?
You got to think about it like this. If they did it, people don't just stop. That's not something you just, unless they get help or they've been
converted.
Unless they get converted. I mean, that's a sickness. Like it gotta
Something
be
shocked them.
People will molest people for years, and people will molest like I may have molested your mama, and then I'm gonna molest the mama's child. Like that stuff goes on for generations. It's not just So 9 times out of 10, if he molested somebody or she molested somebody 20 years ago, they probably still molested somebody else in the family.
Yeah, that's right. That's because Brittany, to add into what you're saying, that it's a mental illness, and this pedophilia goes on, especially these people study the victims and to knowing either they're alone, they have depression. A lot of people with bipolarism and mental issues are target because they're quiet. And on top of that, after being the victim, this developmental even gets worse. So this affects social skills, cognitive skills. So now it's even harder to express what happened to you. You already were struggling with things, and now it makes it worse. But this pedophiles, they have a mental capacity to study the people, so it's a mental illness. So it goes on for years, unless, like you said, they really truly transform for some overnatural reason, or something happens that they decide to transform. But it's a really difficult mental illness to change or come out of. So yeah, it's very unfortunate, but thank you for sharing. I like Love Doctors has mentioned that like majority of minorities especially have been affected by sexual abuse or physical abuse or just child neglect, right? It includes a whole bunch of other categories, but it's happening here and nationwide. Um, so it's so sad that it happens within the family. And then what's worse is that we're not doing anything about it because it's a family member and we want to hide it, and we want to keep it like behind closed doors because how embarrassing. But we don't think about what about the victim? That person gets affected, and you were abused, right? A lot of us went through that same thing, and we're not molesters. However, there's other things that were affected within that issue. So yeah, it's a
So
very
then, what do you recommend? I guess I asked it to Tony and Thule. What do you recommend? We're at that family reunion, hypothetically, and I find out this is what happened 20 some odd years ago, and everyone's over here, treating the culprit like everything is fine. They're the best thing since sliced bread. Do I stand out as and ruin the whole family reunion by making commentary and giving them a piece of my mind, or should I just turn the blind eye to it?
I think what happens, every situation different, and that's why it's always been addressed different. And people will put that on, let's say the family, let's keep the family, and the victim will get over it. Everybody deals with it different. Um, I think that every family should talk before they have a reunion and talk about that, bring that out. So as to address it, to ostracize the person not to ever come back. The person needs to be exposed. You don't leave a person like that covered, because that way and then people tend to, it's like the crack. Nobody goes over and hey, you still a crackhead? You just say you looking good. How many have been guilty of that? You see somebody, you try to tell, oh, okay, you looking, see you coming along. You try to say the nicest things to try to cover for things, wherever people condition it. You say, oh, we're all family. We're all family, but we don't have to agree with everybody does anything. And I don't think it should be covered up. I think it should be addressed. I think if it's one of those things where it need to be exposed publicly, but if you do it in the wrong way, you won't be effective, because they'll make it about, oh, you effed up everything. Big mama. Oh, you ain't had versus, what are you saying? Hold on for a minute. Who did what? Hold on. Who knew about this? See, the problem becomes now everybody becomes on, now you have to watch all these people. This is why people don't address them in public, but people need to get on. I think every family ought to get on chats and pull each other up and then discuss that. My family, I got him in my family. I got a cousin that I thought a lot of him. And I found out, through the grapevine, however, that he was touching on a stepdaughter, not his daughter, it was a stepdaughter. I didn't give a flying fuck who it was. I didn't care nothing about him. He dead. I wouldn't put dirt on him. I don't care nothing about it. And I tell them, my family flat foot. And I'm one of them people, I'll go to zero. I'll go from zero to the moon. So I ain't the person to really do that, because I'm like, I ain't backing down from it, especially when it comes down to a child, protection of a child, an individual like that. I have a real distaste for it. And I think it's just riding, and people been riding so long. Like they say, I got cousins that I know the boy smoked the rats. I said, I don't have time. I don't have time. Well, come on, we still family. We family. I don't have to fool with you. That's your behavior. That's what you do. I don't have time. I'm busy. And I don't, they can say funny. My family, I tell them, they get ready to have something written. I told them, I said, why y'all niggas always have something on the day when I can't come? Because I see you, and a lot of them need to hear the truth. It's just a lot of people just rioting, and things need to be addressed. That's why families don't get better. They only create more sickness.
That's right.
It is. Families create more sickness than they do health and wealth. People have to say, you know what, regardless of all that we found, how about the fact that this shouldn't be going on? We got an adult among us that touches kids.
Yeah, and we need to speak up about it, because there's other kids.
But families they got time to send stuff on Facebook. They got time to Instagram. Well, let's talk about, let's make sure we keep sickness from among us. Let's talk about the importance of it. Let's tell every kid in here what tips and what they need to know. Even with family members, this shouldn't be going on. But it's sad that it keeps happening, and all these people keep getting created to where it makes you kind of like me. I'm one of those people where it's like, you know, I'm gonna say what I gotta say. You just ain't gotta like it. Don't matter. I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna stand up. I'm gonna defend me. I'm not gonna wait on nobody else to defend me. I'm gonna defend myself. And some people say, I don't know why he do that. It's because of what I've had to come through and do. You know, just like Brett was saying, a lot of times you look at who's going to believe you. Like her able to talk to an adult and tell. I was only able to tell about it later in life, you know, talking about it because it's just things you don't talk about. You know, you don't have conversations about them unless you just don't have it. People go, what happened? How? What? I don't want to talk about it. You know, to get it out is the muster of the strength. But then to get to the point, there's some people use it as a crutch so they can raise money, get organizations made, and make a fool out of people. I never use that for an excuse. It don't stop me from doing nothing. It don't make me crawl out no bed from having no sex with my wife. I don't ball up in no corner and cry with no sheet. I'm not criticizing people that do because everybody's affected differently. I don't know if people things wrong my back. I'm an attacker. You know what I'm saying? After things happen in your life, I'm the person, I don't wait to be attacked. I react. People might say, I think you went overboard. I think you were premature. That's what you're gonna say. But when you come out from being a victim, you realize this is something that'll never happen to you again. So my stance is that's the person that I want to create myself. No one stopped, no one helped me then, so I don't look for anybody. That's why people say, well, you kind of do things where you kind of isolate other people. It's not isolating them. I just look at, I'm a defender of myself. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to come out, I'm going to address it. People don't have to like it. I look at the end of the day, I'm going to defend me. I'm going to defend my position. I'm going to make sure I'm not going to be no one's going to take advantage of me. That's not going to happen. You know what I'm saying? I escalate because, you know, when things happen to you, you either create the character of I'll stay victim, or you'll create the character of I will tear it down. I'll destroy everything because I won't ever let that happen to you. So, you know, people, again, you don't ever know. And it's good to have conversation, not just about this other things, because sometimes you don't know why people are why they are, or why people do things they do. It is because of, you know, you either create the superhero or you become the villain, or you become the victimizer, or you become the protector, you become the defender. That's right. Or you use it for, people like this. This make people cry. I'll use it, make people always give me things. And look, I don't look for anybody to do nothing for me. I don't ask people to give me nothing. I get up with the mindset every day, I'm going to do it myself. If somebody come up here, I appreciate it, but make no mistake, I put in my mind, I'm going to do it myself.
Yeah, it does create a defense mechanism, and it could be a negative one or it could be a positive one. Like, it creates that defense mechanism where I'm going to do for myself. I'm going to protect myself, or I'm going to put myself in the little ball and don't do anything because I'm scared of the world. And like you said, a lot of people react to traumas differently. Some, it makes them stronger. Some, it just breaks them. It all depends, you know, and as a therapist, like, you have to understand that some people deal with the issue differently in a different pace. Eventually you'll find out what they need, but like you said, defense mechanism could be something that can make them stronger, and now you become, you know, nobody's gonna touch me, nobody's ever gonna hurt me, or I'm scared of this world, let me stay quiet. That's when it affects the social skills, and you know, it just, that defense mechanism could be negative or positive.
I would say for me, it in my, because I'm married, in my relationship, I feel like it hurt me because, as far as, not to say that I want to give it that much power, but it hurt me because I had a negative outlook on male authority, and I did not know how negative I saw it until I got married. And I realized that a lot of it was because I'm like, I will never get played, because I felt so played as looking back. I'm like, I was played like that, and then how did I not? So I took on like, oh, I'll never let another man play me like that, take advantage of me like that, rule me like that. And I didn't see that all ruling and all being submissive isn't a negative thing if the person handles it and does it right. And that that was the behavior that I had to unlearn. And
that's right.
That it's an exercise. It's not something that you can get over overnight, but it definitely was a negative. It played a negative part in my life as far as not trusting men and not being able to take authority from a male. I don't know if that makes sense, but yeah.
Yeah, it
No,
makes sense. For everybody who just tuning in right now, I just want to let y'all know what we're talking about. We're talking about child abuse, in particular, we're talking about child sexual abuse. We have a special guest. Her name is Brittany Smith. She turned in. Her segment started around about 9, and she just briefly took the time to kind of just categorize something known as the Aaron's Law and how that's coming into. There's petitions for that to come into play, and several states have already adopted it. And the state of Georgia, I guess, has not adopted it yet. What we're doing, we just
No, they
have people
have.
call in and share
2018.
different stories about child abuse, sexual abuse, and things of that nature. I think it's a really, really great topic. That being said, go ahead, Joanna. Go ahead and finish what you were saying.
Also good to see you, Boston. Come on in. Come on.
Hello, Charlotte. So no, what I was saying, Brittany, and it's great that you are speaking up, because this is not only you. This is a lot of women out there, and that's been the issue. Either regardless if it was sexual abuse or it was physical abuse or if it was verbal abuse, they've developed this hate for man. And it's good that you realize that you needed to learn, that you needed to unlearn that behavior, and not keep on being a victim of it. But again, that's a mechanism. You said, I'm not going to allow men to hurt me. Like Tony was saying, it's just a defense mechanism we built. It could be hurtful towards ourselves, or it could, because being this self empowerment, like me, I developed that, where I'm gonna be myself, I'm gonna do for myself, I'm not gonna allow, but it hurt me because I'm a female, and it should be okay to allow others to help me, and it should be okay for men to allow to help me. So you see, it could hurt you still, like things can hurt you, but like we've said in the past, balance is important. And since any kind of abuse can hurt the developmental of how we process things, is why we've been victims of our lives, and we've had the most important thing, you said it, is on learning behavior so that we can become better people, we can become better humans, and that's what's important. We're always learning, like Tony said at the beginning, we're always learning each and every day. We're learning each and every day, and as long as we recognize the things that we need to unlearn in order to learn, and I think that's important. I'm still doing it, and it's a beautiful thing.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing for everybody to learn and grow from it. And you learn from your past to be, for a better future. You don't use your past for a crippling of yourself. For those that have experienced and gone through it, you can beat yourself up and blame yourself, or you can get up and you can try to make sure you love yourself. You think better of yourself, you do things for yourself, and you just become mindful of people and watchful of things. You pick up things and you see things. You want to alert and warn other people so they don't find themselves in the same situation, because everybody doesn't react the same.
Right.
The outcome, like you said, some people become victim. I've never been a victimizer. I never want to sleep with kids and say, well, I've never taken that approach of it happened to me. That's a part of life to do to somebody else. I look at things happen to us in life, and when it does, if people truly learn from it, then you put back. If that makes sense, you put back. And
Absolutely.
putting back that put, if I can put 3 more people on notice, whether it's 2 boys and a girl, 3 girls, 1 boy and 2 girls, however, all boys, you alert them to be mindful and to watch for certain key things, and know that you can always, there's somebody you can reach out to for help. Myself, I'm a person, I'll help. If a person reach out to me and they told me they were being molested, it wasn't, I'll be a defender of you. I'll make sure something get done.
That's right.
And people need that. They need to know there's people out there that will help them and that won't turn them back over to us. Oh, I refuse to be with the body. And then you get the child really hurt. Now you really got to, you take me to my abuser to say, I believe you abuser. That will kill a kid.
Yes.
It's like, oh, now I got to worry about, is that person going to kill me? What they going to do to me? So I can imagine that fear. I know what it has to be like. So I'm a person, a child, if it's a young child, they're listening, boy or girl, they need help and it's happening. And we, if I tell you I'll help you, I'll help you. I'll go to the back end and make sure I help you, because every child deserves that. And there's a lot of people out there. And what's good to do that we take for granted, we typically, there go a sex line right there, call them. You can call them. But that's if I know the child. But If I don't know them, if I can help them. But anyway, it's a lot, and we have to keep pushing, to keep showing, to get them informed, and get people going, and get people power. We need to have these discussions with kids on boundaries before it happens, because a lot of this is created through kids too. I mean, kids will get questioned, get curious. A lot of times we wait until things happen. There's a time we don't want to. We're not interject. We're not telling them before the streets teach them.
Mm-hmm.
Let's be honest, it's good to get your kid and teach them before the street. And for a parent, it's very awkward to sit and talk to your kids about sex and explain that to them. But what's more awkward is to sit back and realize, had you told them, we could have alerted and we could have stopped somewhere if it was only an attempt and it wasn't a success. If it was a success, it was only one. This wasn't for years of abuse. That's all we can do is try to counteract. And by that, we need to discuss it. I think parents need to talk with their kids, let them know this is what a boy had. Don't let nobody get you and call it some trick name and y'all playing with it. Now, when you're talking about it, know what you're talking about because they gave it some other, figurative name. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, let me play with Molly. You know what I'm saying? Hey, Dad, we played with Molly. And you thinking Molly is some little white girl. No, it's Molly Squirrel.
Mm.
Yeah. Molly
Yeah,
Squirrel.
they need to say them words: vagina, penis.
Yeah, they just say it.
Yeah, no cookie, no little, no.
They're saying.
Yes, and that's and just real quick, I'll share a story of when I used to.
And I'm gonna share one too after you too. I had one to share right quick for you share too.
Yeah, when I used
to married people.
For me, it was when I used to be a.
I've
said it. I've said it here before. I used to be a pre-K teacher, and I remember it was a summer I was teaching, and a little girl again. I hadn't studied psychology career then. I was just doing pre-K, and I remember seeing the girl. She had social behavior issues. She couldn't talk. She was very quiet. But one day she couldn't sit down right, and it just didn't sit right with me. And then I started to ask, questions. And what you could do is use dolls as a play. A lot of therapists use play therapy, and I'm sure you guys are familiar with that. I wasn't, but in my mind, I said, this is the easiest way to find out what's going on with her. So I grabbed 2 dolls and I said, hey, why can't you sit down? Does it hurt you somewhere? And she was like, yeah. So she pointed at the doll's booty. And, I said, what happened there? Eventually the little girl, it took me a couple of hours for her to, be able to say. I needed to get it out from her that day because she couldn't go back home. If something was happening at home, I couldn't let her go back home. So she was being molested by her own father, sexually abused through the, anally. And it was I was 22 then, and I reported it. But I say this to say I was 22. I was very young. But to use our common sense, and I maybe because I had that thing where I felt like I needed to protect kids because I was a victim. So she ended up going to foster home, unfortunately, but the victimizer, the one that abused her, went to jail. But you could use a lot of objects like dolls and ask questions, be clear. But it was so hard to get it out of her because her mother was not using the proper language with her. So I couldn't say vagina because she didn't know what that meant. I couldn't say, so a lot of the words that I was using, she didn't know what it meant. So that's why I had to use visually what was being touched, what was being molested, what was being abused, what was being, what was hurting, why was it hurting. And she was able to tell me back then. And so, I say this is be creative if you have to when it comes to little kids. She was only 4.
So let me ask you this, Dr. Joe. Follow-up question. When you say you reported it, elaborate on the process that you used to report it.
So in New Jersey, where I lived, it's called DCPMP. It's different. It's different in every area. So, but DCPMP, they're in charge of any kind of abuse that you report. My suggestion till now is when you report, when you call the 1-800, the hotline, the child abuse hotline, there's a whole bunch of other hotlines for different kind of abuses. But when you report it, you say you want to report it, you can either become anonymous or you can say your name. I said my name. And if you don't want to be, be involved, you can say, I don't want my name to be involved, but I want to report it. So if you are scared because you feel like retaliation is going to come back to you, you could actually be, remain anonymous. The police comes, therapists come, they analyze the situation. They don't allow the kid to go back to the house the same day because we want the child to be safe immediately. The child can go back home, or actually, no, I'm sorry, they take the abuser out of the house. So until they find out if this is not true or true, then that person cannot go back home. If there's a lot of suspicion or a lot of facts, then the person would go right away to jail, until court day. And we do tests where we can tell that some most of the times we can't tell if they have been abused, if the sperm, and I'm going to be clear, has been cleaned, or it's hard to tell. But since it was a child, it was so easy to tell because she was supposed to be a virgin, and her anal was destroyed. So we were able to tell right away. And so the father went to jail, and I was alert of every process that was happening because I wanted to know what happened with the child. And unfortunately, she had selective mutism because I was a teacher there for a while, and she had selective mutism until she wouldn't talk in certain areas. She would only talk to mom. So again, like, just report it. There's many ways to find out what's happening to your child. And I would speak to the mom, like, why is your child so quiet lately? Again, I was not a psychologist then, but you can tell there's something weird. You see differences. The child was scared to go home. She didn't want to go home. When the father would get to the school to pick her up, she would start crying. And that's a behavior you see, like the child's scared to go back to the place where they're being harmed. So she was crying. She didn't want to go. And I said, sweetie, what's wrong? Like, what's going on? And I said, no, there's no way I'm not letting this girl go back home. There's something going on. And that's when I reported. So you can report it to Child Protective Services. It's different in different states.
Gotcha. So the conclusion of what I was hearing is that ultimately, when you do decide to call that number, that is something that actually they resolve that instantly that same day. So that's the number I want to put on the screen. This right here, the number is called the National Sexual Assault Hotline, 800-656-4673. You actually call this number to get same day results. This isn't anything that's swept under the carpet, but as you heard what she says, is actually put a stop to on that day until they can actually investigate and reach a resolution. Thank you for sharing that story.
Let me say something on that. I want to be clear with people that's watching. If you're a victim of sexual assault, molestation, family member, especially family member, I want to be true with you because when you call, I want you to know everything in your life will change. I'm not telling you that to throw you off. I'm going to be very, very honest with you. The reason why, because if you don't know it before you call and you ready to set your mind to be able to deal with everything you have to, you will shut down by court date because you will look at your life. You were not expecting things to go that way. If you're molested by your parent, they're going to take that parent out of their home, which is going to affect where you stay. It's going to affect everything. I'm not telling you that to scare you from it. I just want you to build your confidence on what's right. What's right ain't about always still having a comfort of a life, worrying about other people, because if people are genuine and honest, you should be the major concern over the money and everything. It's going to be uncomfortable. It's going to be angry people. They're going to hate you. There's going to be people feel like you lying on them. Why are you lying? They're going to try to bring up your past. But if you are a victim, you will feel better and you will. And you will learn why people have taken the stance they take it, because they're comfortable. They're not the person that's being victimized. They're not the person wondering through their mind what's happening, what's wrong with them, why they to blame, why they got to hide the secret. You deserve to be free. But you need to know the truth before you do it. Things will never be the same. And one reason too is because you can be free. And you don't have to live under fear of, you don't have to worry about being victimized, you don't have to worry about when they're gonna come, being hurt by them. And that is more important than what your relationship gonna be with your mother, your father, with your sisters and your brothers, or your uncles and aunts because you did this and you messed up their life. No, you're not the problem. You're not to blame. The victimizer messed up their life. And when the truth came out, things came down. Now make that call. Show them the number.
That's right. May I add something, please?
Absolutely. Go ahead, Tula.
In reference to, there's another element to this story. Also, there are resources for families who have to go through this with a victim. And every parent doesn't know their child has been molested. Like you said, your worlds will be turned upside down. And there are resources, and we have to consider that too, that the parents' lives are just like turned upside down. There are resources for parents too that support. Sometimes grandparents have to turn into parents, so they need support. The parents are gone, taken out, and you have to sit up there and prove, I did not know. I had no idea. I didn't know, and you have to, and the parents have to live with that guilt too. Like she said, that I'm the protector, yet I didn't protect my kid. This still happened under my watch. That's a lot for them mentally as well. So there's a number which is 1-800-CHILDREN, and they provide resources for the families that are affected, the innocent parties, in the situation.
Yeah, and to add to that, Tony, now that I found out in Jersey, it's called DCPMP. Here it's called DFCS. So they're the Child Protective Services for children. Yeah,
there are resources.
Yeah,
and we know what would be nice. We always appreciate those that support the show and give monies and funds to the show. And we encourage you to keep doing it because it goes here and we don't go live a lifestyle thing. It goes to what we do here. And we appreciate that. But if you would like to donate, and we would donate and match what's given. And I want you to put on the Cash App if you're sending money for that to donate toward. Let's help families, because a lot of times people don't look at, and that's why sometimes the families will come down on the victim. They look at, so what are we gonna do? They're looking at, a lot of times families are looking at, well, we ain't gonna have nowhere to stay now because of you. No, it's not because of you. It's never, whatever came, tell them everything came down that wasn't right. Well, what about us? The house had not have somewhere to stay. The house is not right. Because everything that's for you gonna stand, and the truth gonna stand. So I want you to wrap your mind around that. You hear me? Whatever fall down, it came down. Because what we gonna do? We ain't got nowhere to stay. It wasn't right. Because everything that's right gonna stand. Everybody who stand for right gonna stand with you. They gonna get right back up. They gonna realize what's right. It was right. This is not your fault. It's the victimizer's fault. But I would like to be able, we could donate some money over to that particular charity. Well, I'm gonna call it the charity. I won't give money to say charity. I don't do charity, but organizations. I was just thinking in my mind about how we could be a help to the organization and help. And it's a lot of organizations, people that contract AIDS that are victims and everything else, people battling with cancer, kids, like hospital kids, just all kind of things, nursing home, older ages. But we want to try to do something so we can get more families free from the burden of being locked down, because this victimizer can do this particular trick where they can pay the rent and pay the bills. That's what I'm saying? A lot of times they'll get you under that holster, under that, under that umbrella. Before you know it, you just shut down in there. You can't get out.
There are a lot
I'll tell you what.
symbols that they use. The people that support this month, they use pinwheels. I don't know if I know in our area.
Yes.
Places.
It's nationwide. Yeah.
Yeah, it is supposed to be nationwide, and that symbolizes the healthy, happy, full life of children. It's just to remind us that children should have healthy, happy, and full lives.
Development. That's right. And yes, we do need donations. Each shelter for one kid is like $3,500 approximately. So
a month,
just to start the program for each child is just $3,500. So yeah, if there could be contribution, definitely will help.
We could take that money from Ukraine and won't be no victim. We could put every one of them kids in a mansion.
Mm-hmm.
We done gave almost $1 billion. We done gave almost $1 trillion to Ukraine. That money could be used to help these kids. Nobody will have to give anything. Yeah, that little pinwheel blows free. And that's how kids need to be. They can grow.
Exactly.
Right.
Charlotte Bosco hadn't said anything. Did he fall back on? There you go. What's going on, Bosco?
Hey, how you doing?
Hey, chime in on the situation.
How you doing there, buddy?
I'm doing good, man. Dwayne, back up a little from the camera. You scared me, bro. Yeah.
Thank you. I thought it was just me.
Yeah.
I thought a book was on the screen.
Nah, I'm just, I just listening to what, to what's going on. It's a sad situation, but all the time, it just takes a brave soul to come forward to stop the abuse. And not only that, but it's a lot of people that's mentally abused daily.
That's right.
Workplace abuse daily. And it's just what you have to understand that a lot of times when you're going through these abuses, they affect economic impact as well. I know that was a study done, and when you're talking about economic impact, victims of that kind of abuse, it's a loss of total like 8 million days of work they miss, like total. Amount of people they don't want to go to work,
right?
Because of what they're dealing with. So it's like, okay, when something happens to you at home, you gotta get yourself up in the morning, put on whatever face, outfit, emotionally, inward fit to go out and face society. And sometimes you don't want to do it. You don't feel like doing it. As well as when it talks about a lot of them losing their job to not even going to face the abuse. But when you miss days off work, guess what? You're not gonna want to go to work. Missing days from off work, eventually they're gonna fire you.
Yeah.
And a lot of times, as an employer, my boss told me one time I did something, I messed up, I thought I was gonna get fired. And what he said was, I don't judge a man off of a race, I judge him off of a marathon versus the things that you did over a course of time, not for one instance. And as an employee, you gotta think when an employee come to work and things don't seem normal, like Resident Joe was talking, some things don't seem normal in a certain individual. And it's up to us to kind of recognize this and notice these things and be able to, to try to fact find and see what's going on with that particular individual. I know it's a rough situation. I personally never dealt with it. I have family members that dealt with it all the time, and it's just like those people that was in they called New Orleans. When Katrina came, a lot of the people said, "Hey man, why didn't they evacuate? That was stupid." But when you think about it, where were they going to go? Where you going to go?
Do with that in New Orleans.
Where you going to go? Where are you going to go? What house are you going to go to? What family member going to come take you in?
Yep.
You going to go to the dome where rape was going on right there at the dome? You get what I'm saying? So where you going to go? A lot of people don't have an out to go to. And sometimes it's good to, just have that confidence and courage to just get out and go. And a lot of people, like what Pastor said, once you say that this is what you're dealing with, just be prepared to go all the way.
Mm-hmm.
As far as the criminal proceedings, as far as being able to be the forefront to speak against other individuals, just be prepared to go all the way. I just was watching the other day the documentary on the lady R. Kelly. The girl, when she first went on Gayle King's show, she was saying, "Why y'all lying on him? Why y'all doing this?" And then she came back and said, "I was just drugged. My mind was bad. you know, I would just poison on what he constantly say, you know, to me or what we had to do. But I always try to put myself in that mindset. But at the end of the day, you got to be strong enough. But let's not forget about the people that's being mentally abused on a daily basis, because those words have power, and sometimes it could be powerful to people want to kill themselves, you know, and it could be even worse than certain situations. But I commend those people that came forward, continue to do it. We'll fight for you. A lot of people, if you don't say something, you don't have nobody to stand up and fight for you.
That's
You get what I'm
right.
saying? Or come to that rescue financially or to that situation. But it's sad when it's a father, because you look towards your father for protection. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You look for a father for that nurture to protect you from other people doing it to you. You know what I'm saying? And so,
That's right.
but you gotta, you know, anybody watching, you gotta fight through that stuff, man. I know I'm. Well, you haven't went through it. But I just say you fight through it, and you get to a city of refuge. You can get to a place of help, and that's what has to happen. You gotta jump out and get to a place of help. The same thing mentally. It's a lot of people getting mentally abused with different things that they deal with in society,
Yeah.
different idols that they want to go. They have confused on how things to go to, but a lot of people really don't want to get rescued. You know, they just like to stay in that mindset. So, yeah, that was it.
Spousal
Well, I
abuse.
tell you what, I appreciate you. I appreciate what you're
Spousal
saying in
abuse.
the commentary that you had. What I want to do is I just want to spend time, and I just want to tell Brittany again. I definitely appreciate you for bringing this topic of breast to Mike's Under Mine. It takes a lot of strength and a lot of courage, and just listen to this dialogue over the past 60 minutes has definitely been meaningful and eye
Thank you so
opening.
much time.
Why you
And
keep saying
again,
Oh, that's him. That's him.
no.
Mr. Nigga Counter.
I appreciate you guys having me on the show.
So, but what
appreciate
I wanted to say though is that it would be highway robbery if you be on and you don't mention your Nara's collection and the beautiful contributions about Nara collection and the things you have been so successful doing that.
What's the way? Put the site up there. Don't you have a site for that?
I actually don't.
That's
We're
it.
still working. I
My
know.
baby,
She has
you don't have a
beautiful.
site.
She
You
has
don't have
great talent.
Thank
She
you. I
does.
appreciate it. I really do.
It's not because
Yes,
you're here. You really do
Great.
have beautiful talent.
I appreciate it.
Honestly, love it.
go
She's the
to
mother of my beautiful, great, wonderful, affectionate granddaughter.
the
Yes.
other information.
I'm sorry.
Talking to Dwayne. You stay here though. You don't have
Yeah,
to.
you can stay. Yeah, you know, he got them knuckle dragging glasses, so he can't even see what he's supposed to be doing.
I
You
do
know
want
what?
to say. I do want to say this. The benefits of telling is the fact that you take that power away from the person doing it. Also, you are able to help the person coming behind you. So there is always a benefit in
That's right.
telling, and there's always a benefit in not allowing that to hold you back in life. A lot of times people go through things and they do let it hold you back, but you got to think about it. How much of a help are you going to be to somebody else if you're allowing something that happened to you hold you back? There's nothing you can do for somebody if you're letting something have that much of a hold on you.
Right.
You can't help anybody. So it's not going to be easy to grow in but it's possible. People do it all the time. It takes time. Be patient with yourself. Be consistent, and just push through it, because don't let that person win. Don't let that person have that much control over their life, because they've already had control for a certain period of time. Break free from that and just move forward.
That's right.
That's right, Brent. Yeah. What's the other information you're gonna show that you were supposed to show how long ago?
Ooh.
Love
That
though.
inchworm up there. Inchworm.
I don't know what y'all talking about. What are y'all talking about?
Tony,
What information? I'm
Read
wait,
your
hold on.
read your text.
Tony,
Huh?
didn't you have a story to tell too?
Yeah, I was gonna say about people
Let
being
me go.
abused.
Let me go get my phone. I'll be right back. Hold on.
Don't by using code words and stuff like that. So you can do this so to be safe too for you men that married to your wives, you know, Go to the carnival. Get you a pickle. You seen the elephant, but get you a pickle. I don't know where that came from. Just somebody help somebody out there going through suffering.
That was the wrong song.
Somebody that's going through suffering out there, you need help because there's all kind of people need help. Yes, I'm crazy. I'm crazy in love. And I'm right, happy to be alive. I appreciate it being alive. And yes, you may sing that. And I can sing you a personal recording for $19.95.99. Come, 999. What you doing, Brent?
Oh, I'm laughing at y'all. I do want to give a shout out to my husband. Thank you for being so patient with me and rocking with me through this journey. I want to give a shout out to my bonus parents, Tuli and that feels weird calling you Tuli, Sweet Tea, and I call him Dad. And I want to give a shout out to my mom for definitely helping me through this journey. Of course, Charles Bostic has helped me too, and so many other people that I have not named. Having a great support system means a lot, and I definitely appreciate you guys.
That's right.
That is so much in there, right?
No problem.
Don't
Definitely.
forget, send your money in, and I can get you information. Look at what they're talking. Go ahead.
Gravitas.
Robert Tosh, highly serious, dignified. That media platform, Facebook and Instagram, becomes a marketplace for child sex trafficking. How many times have I said something about these social media, these parents, these kids? I get so irritated when I find these kids on the social media. Kids are not strong. I don't know why people think they're not strong enough. Adults aren't strong enough.
That's right.
You can get caught up. That's what an adult that's not a child that's going through stuff. And these people get lost. These people kill people on social media. People's minds are bad. It really shows you how sick the world is, and it gives other rationality to other people, rhetoric. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy. But anyway, go ahead. Lord, Too, did you start crying? You heard the song?
Tony, that is. Welcome, Nephew E. How you doing?
Nephew!
What's happening? What's going on,
Man,
family? How
listen,
y'all
man,
doing?
getting old and making it.
That's right.
How you
I'm
coming
all
along?
right. I'm all right, though.
Yes,
Yes, sir.
That's right. Deion Sanders packed out the spring game, sold out for year 2023.
Man, I was so hoping you forgot about that.
I ain't forget about
it. He sold out the spring game. Has he had it yet? No.
No, they playing each other. That's why.
Oh yeah, they coming out there. People gonna come see it.
The Lord got a book of remembrance. And I got one too. Nephew E.
You wrote it down?
You know they gonna like on say they gonna pack each other. Just gonna get an autograph. So everybody want to see Deion and want to see each other play and stuff like that. So you know that type of stuff will happen. That's how they go.
Wait, put the camera on. We know about Facebook. We know about that. Put the camera on.
Yeah.
Oh, you got my name up there. That's cool.
Hate up.
Yeah.
23rd, 2022.
That man lost it. Put your
I'm gonna just hold that right there.
Hey,
you know what I'm saying?
Hey, Sister Bob, I've been called worse. You know.
Hey, no. It's coming. Don't worry about that. That's coming. Don't worry about that. That's coming.
Hey, somebody done got back in their drawers again.
Yeah.
Sick.
Man. Hey, I hate when watermelon season comes.
Me and you both. Oh, not you, Nephew. We talking about somebody you love, doctor. You listen, that watermelon. He's listening.
Hey.
When he slid out that seat, I didn't know what happened. I looked at him. I'm like, is that chair that tall?
Oh,
Dr. Joe.
Hey, I'm sorry, man.
Dr. Joe.
Brittany, I don't want to be insensitive about the topic. I love that.
No, you're fine.
But
We talking
Yeah.
about the sicko. Listen,
We gotta get
hey, listen.
program.
How about this? How about his camera? I just cut his camera back on. He gonna come at this. He said his camera off.
That man got
That's so funny.
He got
What this man doing?
What's wrong with
Oh, you did that. Oh my god.
Listen,
he got Larry King problem. You know Larry King. I ain't gonna
he
miss
just
that.
have his show and drawn.
You should try that one day.
Yeah.
You have
Oh,
you have a
he had that
And
before.
listen. Love Doctor did it a couple of weeks ago in some tighty whitey. They brown now.
he had underbone.
You don't
They
remember?
brown now.
You saw it, Shara Bastic. You
No,
saw it.
I don't watch.
We did not expect him. We did not expect him to slide out his chair.
I don't
With
watch.
just
Right.
under rules on. No, we wouldn't expect.
We both were like, "What was that?"
That boy said,
We talking he slid. We didn't know. We was like, what? Like, oh goodness, this man here's the drawskin.
He was red and
Call
his
him-
were a little
Trying
hard.
to call him Dr. Drawskin. Love Doctor.
but
This
nephew,
man off the chain out here.
I will say this, nephew.
Go ahead.
I will say that Deion Sanders will become the enemy of success.
I don't know.
Because
That's tight.
yes,
Mm,
that's what's going to happen.
mm.
Because
Cut your camera back on, Love Dog.
Well,
man, like a new version of
Listen, listen. Cut your
he turned it off now.
Hey, you know me
There
with
you go.
that police
There
shade.
you go.
You know what, man? Let me tell y'all something, man. Let me tell y'all something. You know what? Y'all ain't no good. Y'all ain't no good.
Yeah.
Y'all ain't no good at all, man. You know that?
All I did was that episode on Living Color with the potato head with the police.
Y'all ain't no good. Y'all need to grow up. Let me tell you. No. This is what we finna do. Listen. Look here. Y'all behavior is unacceptable. It's deplorable. It's despicable. It is abominable. I do not consent. Whatever the case may be. Don't y'all be going around here turning off and on folk cameras. I know people been running around this house watching me. I know it. I ain't paranoid. Look at here. Look here. Still beautiful. Still beautiful. You know what? A girl named Linda Cole wrote a song just for me, just for that moment. She said, Dwayne, I want you to know you beautiful.
Who told you that?
Linda Cole, she got a song called Beautiful.
Oh,
She said, don't you know you beautiful? I went to a concert. I saw her perform live. She looked at me and said, no matter what they do to your camera, I want you to know you beautiful.
I guarantee she didn't look at you. She was looking through you. When last time somebody told you that?
You know what? I feel abused. See, y'all laughing at this right here. I really feel abused. Ready to Joe.
I'm telling you signs.
I feel abused.
I'm telling you signs of knowing you getting played. When a woman look at you and tell you beautiful, you getting played and you ain't getting no money. If she don't
Bossy,
and put money in your hand, you ugly, bro.
Bossy, this right here, this abuse. We up here talking. Brittany, you had a really great message. I enjoyed the conversation and the way that y'all just overstepped the boundaries with me. That's ridiculous.
And what was the person that sung that song again? And what you say you was where you was when they sang it?
You can call the abuse hotline.
He said Linda Cole, and then it sung the song. And
Linda Cole.
At the concert.
Yeah.
You went to
What
her
she say?
Yeah, Linda Cole had a concert. She performed that She Beautiful. She also mentioned there's a possibility. Hold on. You know what? You know what? I rebuke thee.
Now
here you go.
Now you rebuke Linda Cole. Linda Cole singing. I never said anything. Linda Cole said, I never said. Yeah,
I can't.
Y'all need to grow up.
Man.
Y'all need to grow up.
Who in that?
Listen, make like a tree and grow up.
You need to grow up too. Hold on.
You look for it.
What did Shara Bossy say?
You stop like a falling tree, lying. Think about a falling tree. I can't do with so much now. You got to follow.
Right.
Follow if you will. Follow if you will. Keep up. Follow if you will.
And I definitely, you know, the information that I get, I share. I like to share with my people. Some interesting facts that I found out about. I wanted to share with y'all. Dwayne, you're not beautiful, but that's not what.
Sorry, I didn't mean to laugh.
Sit back. Dwayne, sit back. Get back.
Listen, I'm scared y'all finna turn camera monitors around everything. What y'all? What is y'all trying to do over here?
You got to
That's what I'm scared of. This show is about Brittany. I don't know how I'm end up with my camera on here.
It's not about me. What?
Well, it sure ain't about me and my camera. How did my camera get turned on? Who turned my camera on? I bet it was somebody who was light skinned. I bet it was somebody who was light skinned.
No, it probably listen. Everybody probably on this show. You probably have your draws, everything.
We gotta get our offering back up, man. Them turtlenecks turned cheap, Dwayne. Damn.
What you talking about?
We waiting for the thick one. Where the thick one? The Christmas ones.
So this right here, for those of y'all who don't know anything about fashion, I want to let y'all know that April showers bring May flowers, which have these type of April showers turtlenecks.
So what that do if your neck stay wet?
See, if y'all know anything about turtlenecks, y'all know things about turtles, and turtles come in all shapes and sizes. You have the hard shell and you have the soft shell, just like a taco. A turtle is just like a taco, come hard shell and soft shell. Bam.
Hold on.
Somebody said, what happened with the so-called Florida watermelon doctor? That when he had them draws on.
Listen. Guess what I just finished eating? Guess what I just. Don't make me do it. Don't make me do it. Don't make me do it. Don't do not make me do it.
We're gonna get it.
Cut his camera on.
Hey.
Cut his camera on.
He cut it off.
Oh no, I can show that part.
Yeah, blood. That's sorry, Joker. We could have seen it. I got some watermelon.
Open that refrigerator right there.
Hey, hold on. Let me tell y'all something because I want to share this. You all know that Medicare is getting ready to approve weight loss pills. Yeah, it's gonna be be involved with the weight loss.
I didn't know they weren't approved.
What age you got Medicare? Let me see. What's the age range for Medicare? Like 65?
Not Medicare, but
Medicaid.
Medicaid.
Yes.
Oh, Medicaid. Okay.
Medicaid.
Okay.
Yeah, they're approving. Hey, man.
What that? Oh my God! I thought that man draw was bleeding.
Let me get it up close.
Do not put it up close.
No.
That thing good. That thing is good right there. Look at it. Look at that right there. You don't need no paper plate. You don't need no knife. Cut it in half and take that spoon to it. Look at it. Good. That's how you do watermelon. That's how we do it right there.
Fork to get it out. Everybody know if you gonna eat a watermelon, you really want to put a fork in it.
Hey,
right. You see right there, that fresh watermelon in there.
That's not supposed to.
Fresh, listen, them fresh.
Hold on. Hold that watermelon up. Let me see your watermelon, Tony. Let me see your watermelon. That's seedless watermelon right there. You don't want that. That's seedless. That's seedless.
Don't do that.
There's no way.
Seedless.
That watermelon retarded, man.
I'm the same thing about your watermelon. I seen how it look. Look very special here.
Look at here. I got it on the side of the road.
Watermelon, that fresh. Listen, fresh grapefruit from Arizona. Picked up down the street.
So good.
Yeah, I want to taste them. Yeah.
Look here, that Florida watermelon. That's what you want right there. Florida watermelon. You can eat the whole watermelon before you go to bed, and it ain't gonna have you waking up during the night to pee. Georgia watermelon. Eat that before you go to bed. You pee in the next 30 minutes.
Good. We want to watch that kid now. Listen.
Well, it should be making you because it's mainly liquid. So if it's
hold on. You know anything about watermelon?
Hold
on now. This watermelon conversation now.
That's a straight insult.
Y'all don't know about watermelon. I'm not finna let y'all here talk bad about watermelon. Y'all
You're
don't know
saying that the Florida watermelon does not send you to pee, which makes no sense because watermelon is mainly liquid.
Mm-hmm. Oh, what's the name of it? Watermelon.
Hold on.
You
Oh,
got busted like why the man like the man?
so
messed up the water.
you took what I said literally. I was talking figuratively.
Explain.
Joe
How can that
Biden.
be taken figuratively?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
So
you
the
talking-
definition of the word figuratively is opposite of the word literatively.
Stop. I'm done.
So that's all we got to do.
On behalf
That
of
makes
the
sense.
state of Florida, I do apologize.
We
Thank you.
accept your apologies.
I apologize.
Let me
Right.
tell you something.
Oh, he's not the
Ain't
person.
nothing. I don't see. Listen, look at
Brother.
Play with that one.
He just dropped it and draw.
He's sticking on
That's sad.
Oh man.
no. Listen, real talk. Real talk. Let's get this out now. No. Let's get this out now. I feel some kind of way about y'all turning my camera off and on. Who turned my camera off and on? Stand up and say who you is. Don't be throwing rocks and hiding your hand. Who turned my camera on?
No, this your hand.
So pretty.
Don't know what you're doing. You dropped it.
No, I turned my camera off.
Can I say something?
Yeah, you dropped it in the water.
Can I say something?
Go ahead. Yeah.
Can I say,
Oh man.
Man, this is crazy.
can I say something?
Please.
Mhm.
Do y'all know the average height of a fireplace? Average height.
Average what? Height.
Height.
Oh,
Right?
Oh, height.
Why is Dwayne fireplace right by his head? Like,
Like 4 foot.
hey, do you realize how short
All right, that's it.
when you look?
That's how it's going. All right, y'all need to feel yourselves better. Take shots. Take shots.
Hey, Boz, you can throw that away.
Oh,
Don't
listen,
say it, I'll
take
throw it
shot.
away. Yeah, throw that away, man.
Y'all go
I'll
ahead.
Throw that away.
Y'all go ahead, take shot. Take shot. If this right here, what you feel better. So any kids out there watching, you gonna have to undergo through this criticism. You go back there trying to do your best, and you have people talking about you, trying to distract you. But y'all stay focused. If I can do it, y'all will do it too.
Yeah, right. And don't drop that water in your drawers. You be very well.
I've noticed that Shara Bassett is very analytical and very observant, by the way.
Yeah, 'cause you realize how small you is, man.
Yeah.
But you know what? Though?
Hey, I'm short too now. I'm not sure. Everybody can't be 6 feet.
Listen.
Everybody-
Hold on.
everybody can't be 6 feet,
Hey, go ahead and brag about something that you can't control. Go ahead. Let me hear you brag about it. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Hey, man, you know.
that's right.
Hey.
Yeah.
Don't talk about nothing a person cannot control.
Yeah.
I'm gonna brag on holding that
What-
plate without dropping it in my lap.
Why don't you brag about how you love being black and how proud of black you are? Go ahead and talk about that.
You know that.
Hey, I represent for the short men. I'm, you know what I mean? I'm short too, so.
I mean,
You know
short
what I mean?
people got to know your barriers. You know what you can do. You know, ain't nothing wrong with that. I had big fat friends and I had small short. I'm telling you, and I don't know, when you look over your life, you got to realize what kind of friend you had. If you always had a big fat friend, you always was always around some food, eating.
Food, yeah.
We always
Mhm.
we were going to the fast food restaurant. You find all undiscoverable secret meals that they got on fast food carts.
Right.
You know, and my short friends always started the trouble. They always started the trouble.
I got a real short. One of my best friends is short.
Right.
His name
Hey,
is Haley.
can we talk about the real issues? I mean, we had a good conversation, great topics.
No, we got.
I enjoy. I mean, the one and only Brittany Smith is still here. Let's share this moment. You know what I'm saying? While
No,
we
you
here.
talking about how much time it took the whole time.
You
Thank
did. You got to know. So don't worry about it.
What are you talking about the time? You said it like that was something bad. I wasn't saying that's something bad. I thought that was
You
beautiful.
said you first
I thought that
started
was
off, you
good.
said
I
you started
compliment-
at 9. It's
No, that's because at the bottom of the hour, I had to go ahead and make another announcement for people just tuning in. I thought it was doing great. I don't take that by no shape, size, or form. Don't take that as an insult. I thought what you were doing was really, really good. I admire your strength for being able to do that continually. That's something that's really, really difficult to do. So I wasn't trying to belittle that at all. So don't take that as I'm trying to belittle the whole topic of what you're saying. That wasn't it.
59 minutes and 3 seconds. Yeah.
So rude.
Well, come on.
No, this who what they say right here? Truth level.
My eyes are so bad.
Yeah, that's real small.
What is that? I can say happy and what saying at the same time. Man, what does it say? I can't see. I need my glasses.
It's impossible for the human to be happy and sad at the same time. Make yourself happy, you can.
Yes, that's right.
Oh, he got a saying. Oh, he got one of them saying. Okay.
He's asking a question.
I don't think he.
No, I think it's a statement.
Yeah, that's a statement.
Yes, statement. Yes, statement.
He said final two thoughts. It is a final two thoughts. Oh my eyes.
You can't be happy and sad at the same time.
Yes, you can.
So make yourself happy if you can. You can.
Yes, you can.
You gotta make yourself happy if you can, but don't use your hand.
Here's some people real happy in your hand.
Ain't to you, that's to anybody. That's the understand. Make yourself happy if you can, just don't use your hand. Or make sure you use her hand. Something. Don't you do it. Just stay away from it. Isn't that right?
Hey, look,
man, I mean, these are interesting topics. I know our time almost failed anyway. But what you think about, I know it was some other things he was gonna show. Facebook, they showing the number. I thought they saying like over 60% of missing kids, if I'm correct, are attributed to Facebook or social media.
Wow.
Because so many kids get lured social media. I definitely want parents to take that serious. Yes, I'm old fashioned. You can bet on it, but I kept my kids. They weren't kidnapped. So it's just time to get smarter. I know kids are more innovative now, and technology keeps kind of rebounding. So it's getting more and more anyway. And the more it continues to grow, the more it gives opportunities, and it's reaching our kids at earlier ages. And because it's reaching earlier ages, it's opening them up to a whole world of things of curiosity, things our minds weren't open to. These kids, I mean, it ain't just lay on top bed. We was laying each other hunting. Right. These kids started straight out the box. They know what the vagina, what it does. Because social media open up this world to them. Even they teach them how to be homosexual. Right. So they put them so far in the endeavor the way you can't get them out. It's like goodness, these kids are being. I mean, they're so provocative in what they know and what they say, and what's open to them. We can't leave it to them. We just got to know. You need to be a certain age. It needs to be a certain time limit on it, and it needs to be taught how to be used. It's just like teaching your kid be on the street. What you tell them? Don't talk to strangers. Don't go to strange sites. You got to it's just things you got to learn to. This is part of what's pulling and why we lose so many of our kids.
That's right.
Not all. This part.
All right.
So I do have another. I'm sorry, but can you just show? I know it was another clip. They were showing about what it was saying facts about kids and child molestation. Go ahead, nephew. He's just gonna show it to us.
Oh yeah, I was. Miss Brittany was talking about earlier about the. Actually, everybody was talking about the situation of sexual abuse and stuff like that with family members and stuff like that. That's a real deep topic that a lot of families don't come together on. By the time you learn this type of stuff, man, you people be grown because they don't hear this for so long, and if you don't say nothing, the only thing you're gonna do is make more victims for them. Because as you continue to grow, the family get bigger. People have children and stuff like that. They start getting families, but that's the thing that has to be brought to the forefront for people. A lot of people don't do it. A lot of folks are scared. Some people benefits to life. Like you say, you helping take care of somebody or, the boyfriend or whatever, whoever it is. A lot of women, they don't say a lot of stuff about men that do a lot of things because it's the fact of what they getting out of it. You understand what I'm saying? So, like I said, I've been a victim of seeing a lot or heard a lot that went on in my family, and it's hurtful. It hurts you to your heart that you've been around these people. That folks done hid sexual abuse and folks done hid sexual predators and stuff like that, and been around people and stuff like that have done this to kids and children. And you've been around these folks, shaking folks' hand, hugging them, and next thing you know, somebody told you something that that somebody been kept for a long time, and that hurts your heart, man. Because I like I say, I got children, and you don't want to put nobody else kids in danger, but you got to call these folks out, because if you don't, innocent people gonna get hurt, and innocent kids gonna get taken advantage of. So these folks got to get called out though. But that's a great topic though. One that's a hidden secret.
Yeah.
We
You
definitely
understand what I'm saying? They have no front.
You're exactly right. And we got to have conversations about this. And there's other. We always have a boatload of news. But, we get to we talking with family, Confederate 48, then get to stay with us long. The technical difficulty balance going through. A hobby much appreciated. You nephew, always great to have you.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Look forward to seeing it. I see your comments when you're up there. Let us know you're at the house.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And toys, I definitely appreciate that as well. Definitely want to encourage all those, my baby, my hobby much, you know what I'm saying? Mother of my great, wonderful grandkids too, and the wife of my adopted son. Appreciate her for my adopted son. Appreciate everybody. We want to encourage you to do the right thing and keep standing. And truth don't prevail. Don't be afraid. Well, I'm gonna say this: take your fear and turn it and enhance it to your strength. It's gonna be that. You're always gonna have that. If you want to know what it's gonna be like, you'll get your freedom, but you'll first have to cope with just dealing with how things happen and realize, there was circumstances and things happen that fell to their favor, but you don't ever have to let it happen again.
Right.
And people can alert to save others. So I made my fight wanting and helping others more than making myself a victim. So I need you to join me and let's help other people too. Always to my wonderful co-host. Appreciate them. Hey, we always hope we left something with you, not just entertaining, but insightful and knowledgeable to you. And we have all our wonderful supporters that come on every week in our comment section, do what they do. Hey, if anybody asks you mind, you tell them you always mind. Every Thursday night, right here on Two Mics and My Mind, 8:30 p.m. Hey, nobody else told they love you. Hey, we love you. In our language, we call it all. Tuli, Love Doctor, Resident Joe, Shari Boston, take us home.
Yeah.
I thought tonight we'll start off and keep going, right?
Oh, this is what we're going to do tonight. Yeah. This is new. Had you been here last week on your job, Boston? So this is what we're going to do. One person is going to start it off, right? So, Britt, you and nephew, you got your
lead off, L-E-A-D-O-F-F. That's baseball. Lead off hit first hitter.
Okay. So one person.
That was the lead off hitter on the baseball team.
Okay. You know what? You ain't bad at nothing since then. So listen. This is what we're gonna do.
I was good in baseball.
Then the next person gonna have to pick it up. Next person. That way we can make sure it's original. So one person gonna lead off. I'm gonna call the person name. You gonna start. You gonna lead it off. Then everybody got to pick it up.
Tell them what they leading off doing.
These gonna be our saying. These gonna be our slogan going off. This our saying for the night. Like Tula always ended out after that with one she went and found out for Google YouTube. Then the rest of us got to come in. Joe gonna tell us, don't worry, but don't worry. Not worry. What was the way you told us that time? It was out there too. When you were going there, I was with you. You got that end part?
Right.
Check.
Right.
So here we go. So we're going to start this off. Y'all ready? You got to pick it up. All right, we're going to let Britt start off.
Woo! Let's go.
That's tight, Britt.
Okay. Life is hard. Choose your hard.
Oh, shoot.
What? I got my gun in now? Okay. No,
Who next? Come on, who next?
Come on. All right, come on.
All right, Dr. Joe, go ahead, Dr. Joe.
Who's picking? You not picking?
His man.
He ain't say nothing. You
didn't
say
start.
you
All
said,
right, here we go. All right, we gonna
you
go.
ain't say
Dwayne,
nothing.
you next. Dwayne, you next now. You gotta
keep
go
up the
now.
good work. Hard work is easy work. And always remember, the harder you work, the
On the
easier
board.
it is.
That's it.
That is terrible.
Who next? Who next?
Nephew E.
Mine was simple.
Don't be a flash from your past.
Ooh, okay.
Now what they gotta do with
Who the next person? He trying to buy more time to think. That's what he doing. He trying to buy himself more time to think. That's what he doing. That's what I'm trying to keep it going. Next person.
I know you had to stay with hard.
My bad.
What?
I went to public school. Go ahead.
No, you go again.
Oh, I go now?
Yes, sir.
Oh shit.
Wait, it has to start with the R.
If it's hard, make it. Yeah.
What? Hold on, I ain't hear this rule. What kind of rule?
You gotta start with an R.
I thought it just had to flow. I thought it just had to flow with it.
What did you say that?
If it's hard, make it soft.
Hey man. It's a lot going on. There's a lot going on right now. There's a lot going on.
It's not over. Somebody else do.
Go to the next one. Tony, it's your turn, Tony.
Okay. Hardly.
Hey, that's horrible. Boo.
Hardly.
Joanna, you already know what to tell her to do, Joanna. Joanna, tell her what you need to do, Joanna.
Oh, wait, she might want to wait till she do her. All right, Joanna, you next. Go ahead. You get tell me what to do. I hear yours. Come on now, let me hear yours now. Now I know we both get a check.
Be encouraged.
Be
You
encouraged.
are loved.
But
There is
love.
light at the end of the tunnel.
That's it.
Okay.
That is beautiful. You finna get you a good check. You think I said hardly because we can go somewhere else?
Oh, I think everybody say we go hard.
The tunnel is hard. The tunnel, the dark tunnel is a hard place.
I get it.
I don't know what y'all talking about. I don't know what y'all talking about.
Yeah, I'm scared.
No, I'm done.
There's a lot going on, man.
Yes,
There's a lot going on, man.
We
There's a
put
whole lot
ourselves
going
in a
on.
very dark circle.
What you need to do next, man?
You
Come
know who
on.
we need to blame? We need to blame, like they said, blame the abuser. Britt, the person that said
It's something so general. I didn't know that had to end off with
You really
hard.
did.
It was so broad. It's
I
so
know.
way to go with it.
It started broad, but then the way
What?
got. See that?
Go
I'm
ahead,
gonna tell you
Sherry
mine.
Bostic.
It
Take
started
us out of
hard.
here.
I'm gonna do mine now. It started hard, started broad, but because the way got hard.
Preach
I
it.
I'm just trying to
I don't know where it came from, where it's going, but I see where Russia Brittany is going, and it might lead to more children. But I will say this:
Wow.
it's like if this is the direction that British wants to go.
Yes.
Like a squirrel is built for hard times because it always gets the nut.
Oh yeah. Let's not go off right now.
You know, just keep it moving. Just keep it moving.
Oh,
keep
man.
it moving. Y'all ain't forget our page block. Just keep it moving. Keep it moving.
You see Joe like this.
I'm laughing way too much. I can't.
Somebody
Somebody said hard. This is too much.
That's talking about it sound like a tell. They gotta see hardly.
Kevin fan all night until this segment. I don't know what's
It's hot. I'm laughing way too.
Tuli, take us home, Tuli. What you got? Make it make sense, Tuli.
Please. Save us.
I'm sorry, Dwayne, man. I know. I'm sorry.
Here you go.
It's gonna be good.
You gotta stay along the lines of what Brittany's going with.
Yes, just because it's hard doesn't mean you're a retard.
I like that.
Hey,
I like it.
She bailed us out.
That was the best.
It started off broad.
That was the
then
best.
It became hard.
You know what? That's a good one too.
I've laughed so much today.
It's been a lot going on.
And Tula gonna get up with an extension. We get an extension now.
Yeah, I know it. So we gotta see now. What's the one you bought from YouTube Google?
Oh, okay, yeah. No, this is okay, yeah. You can't go back and change the beginning, but you can start where you are and change the ending.
That's right.
Beautiful.
That's all right.
That goes with
That's
our
all
theme
right.
today.
Well,
I did too.
no, man.
Did y'all not see how mine went with the theme?
No, ma'am.
It's hard to.
He created a theme, though. He did create a theme for sure.
Hey, did y'all see this right here? Do y'all see what Big Cookie Production? When life gets hard, just hang on. It'll be over in about 2 or 3 minutes. That's all right.
It ain't worth it.
That's
Big
right.
Cookie in the building.
Go.
All right, y'all.
All right,
All right, it's getting past my bedtime.
Yeah, put
All
on
right,
some
now.
draw before you go to sleep too, and clean that watermelon up out your lap.
Hey, brother, throw that thing away. Don't stick
Yeah, that thing got so much flow dust in it, pubic hair. It don't better than lap the best to the ground.
Hey, look at him. Look at him. Stop
All
the
that
hate.
watermelon trash, man.
Stop the hate.
That watermelon, man. I see them.
Why they hate?
Man, this is why they hate.
Oh man.
All right, Tuli.
Hey, listen.
All
All right, Tuli. All right, Tony. Y'all take us home.
There we go. Yeah. He is sick. Him and his watermelon.
We're about to take it back. Ladies and gentlemen, here it is, the most radio show.
This station is now the ultimate power in the universe.
Tony and Lee on the radio. Dr. Jones, on the radio. The love going high on the radio. 2 mics and a mind on
And the mind.
All right. You do something better. I'll do something better. And we'll be better together until next week.
Yeah, next week. Hob y'all.
Night, Tuli.
Yeah.
Peace out.